So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Accents, for having me here. And I'm absolutely proud of using Accents technology for bringing Nunuri to life. And how this works and how we create these evocative experiences with her in a very specific way. That leads me back to my childhood. Actually, a little story around Nunuri is very important to see the importance of new technology and nowadays technology that Accents is providing us in a very specific and a very perfect matching way. So, as I said, I had the idea of Nunuri when I was 5 years old, because I had the problem that when I was a 5-year-old boy, nobody would listen to me of all ideas that I had into my mind, of all the things that I wanted to create, of all the things that I wanted to talk about. So I had the idea it would be great to have like a character that is older than me, that is more powerful than me, that is more beautiful than me, that has longer hair than me. So I was like thinking of a personality that I can talk to, that I can talk about my feelings about things, what are important for me. And so I had the idea and I sketched her. At this time, of course, it was not yet a digital character. It was more of a analog one. So I have drawn her on with pencil and paper, and I made her exactly the way that she is looking right now. So throughout the years, when I was a teenager, I still had this in my mind. I was starting my own studio in my early 20s, which is a design studio based on 3D animation, 2D animation, motion graphics. I do a lot of directing. We are based in Munich, in Madrid, and in Buenos Aires. We have like 14 fixed employees. So we are quite an intense and very family-driven company. And I was always thinking about how can I integrate in my whole organism Nunuri in a way. So throughout the years, it was coming up the classical influencers, the bloggers, the real humans, of course. And I always thought to myself, well, it's quite nice what they do in a way and how they communicate. But I think it would be also like interesting to bring the communication and the conversation on a different level, which means with a broader background, with a more in-depth information, with a more bigger variety, a more entertaining and inspiring character that is on the eye level of the target group, that is on the eye level of the people we want to address to, but on the other side also like grabbing the viewer's attention, because for me as a creative person it was always or is always the problem. We have a lot of things to communicate and we have millions or billions of pictures and information every day. So I thought to myself, what really could stand out to bring in information to people, and not only about fashion, about lifestyle, about beauty and about travel, but also about social responsibility, things that are responsible for our world, for people, for communication, for bringing nations together. So I thought it would be great to bring out Nunuri, and this was like 10 years ago, but she was not in public at this time. At this time, she still was in my mind, in my head. So I formed her character, and I really defined her character in a way. But I knew, of course, from my regular work that it would take me a lot of time. That means like manpower to set up this character, because you have to imagine you have like a shell, a beautiful shell, and inside of this shell you need to create life. You need to get the eye expression, the mouth, the face. How does she look like when she's sad? How is she happy? How is the hair moving? How is her body moving? Is she moving smoothly? Is she moving more androgyn? So you have to define all these kind of things for a character. So this is the reason why it's very difficult to set up a successful character that has a kind of personality. And I always wanted to give her a personality. And I had lots of discussions with investors, like, okay, what can we do and how can you help us? But all those investors were more about the marketing tool itself. And for me, it was very much important to bring out something that has a soul, that has life in her eyes, in her digital eyes in a way. And so this was then the moment when I created her, and I tried to really focus on something where I have defined her personality, her core values in a way. And I want to share now my screen with you. So let me check this, because I want to show you how I can. Let me see. Just a second. And here we go. So here we see Nunuri. Maybe you haven't seen her before. So this is her, how I created her. And the process from the moment where I decided to make her and to bring her out, it took me over 7 years. 7 years I was living in silence with her, where I defined her character. And this character I want to show you now. I was thinking about the so-called triple C. So the first C stands for cuteness. So she has to be cute all the time in a way. So whenever we bring her together with any kind of person, with any kind of personality, she has to have this cuteness in a way. That is also the regulation for not being too sexy, not being too feminine, not being too provocative in a way. So the cuteness character is very important for Nunuri, and defining her way of sensuality in a way. The second C stands for curiosity. I always want her to get information to the people in a very specific way. It's not just like that we say like, okay, this is a ring and the beautiful ring is made out of sterling silver and that's it. No, it's about how long does it take to make this design of the ring? How long does it make the production of the ring? So as you can see, there is much more storytelling inside of Nunuri in a way. So she is not just like a nice chic doll in a way. So she has like a real character. She wants to know how much it takes time to make an haute couture gown, to make a handbag, or to make a vegan tofu scramble. So she really wants to know all about those things, and also, of course, about different kind of cultures, as we can see here. This was a collaboration with Cosmopolitan in India. So we brought her to different, or we bring her to different kind of countries where she really gets to know all these kind of things and traditions and cultures. And the third C stands for couture, which does not mean she's wearing only couture. That means the way we produce the content is couture. And here comes also the fact that we need a stable and a great functionality in terms of technique. And here we are super happy to work with Exxon's technology Mocap. So that gives us the great asset to really bring her to life like you haven't seen any other character before. And how this will look like, it will show up in the presentation, but I want to keep move on a little bit in the way what were the thinkings, or are the thinkings about Nunuri. It also, she is talking about fashion, of course, because fashion is where she loves to be, where she is like having a lot of followers as well. So the thing when I brought her out, which was like 3.5 years ago, it was in February 2018. It was during the Fashion Week in New York. And she was, from one day to the other day, she was like really on screen on all the fashion people, because with my knowledge that I gained over the years when I was a 5-year-old boy, I was already into fashion. I was into Vogue magazines. I was into cosmetics and all these kind of things. And all this knowledge that is unified inside of this little girl. And I think this is exactly what people see and understand with her. Another thing, what I wanted to create with her is not another human looking like personality, because I think, I mean, there are gorgeous avatars out there and I have huge respect of them. But for me, it was more this idea of, and this brings me back to the title of my presentation, the future is now, and we need to grab the attention of the viewers. And how can we do that? And in my perspective, and what I do with Nunuri is like, I put her next to other people, like we have seen the picture here with Lewis Hamilton, where she was hired for a campaign with Lewis Hamilton for his vegan clothing collection line for Tommy Hilfiger, where she was the role model next to Lewis Hamilton, in order to bring the awareness, in order to bring the attention to this specific collection, 100% vegan, no leather, no environmental harming materials. So this was really a next level, a new step. And this really brought the attention, because when you think, you scroll through your feed, like on Instagram, for example, you scroll, and you see so many beautiful pictures, perfect grids, perfect tonalities and everything. And then you see out of a sudden a picture like this, where you see like, wow, it's Lewis Hamilton. Of course, he's a driving face, but even if it would be another person that is not as famous as Lewis, you would stop immediately, because you see another person that looks somehow true, natural, but on the other side doesn't, because the eyes are bigger, the face doesn't look like a real human in a way. So this is basically the idea what we do with Nunuri. We want to grab the attention. And this really brings us this kind of difference to other avatars, to other digital characters. Of course, we want to bring her also into new dimensions. So what you can see here is like a study what we did with a classical anime figure, where we think about, hey, it would be nice to have her also come to life in the game industry. But also here you see it's a beauty campaign for Miu Miu that we did, where you can see another interpretation of what we know from classical advertisement, from classical magazines. We grab the attention by creating something otherworldly. And the great thing is, with mocap technology and the character that we have, we can put her on planet Mars, we can put her underwater, we can bring her to the jungle. So there are unlimited possibilities. And I think this is really exciting. This is really something specific. And here we really get awareness, and here we can sell products, we can sell values, we can even bring messages to people like people haven't seen it before. And beside the commercial side, and of course everything has to be financed in a way, so we need the commercial side, but we can be very creative in the commercial side as well. But on the other side, I think somebody who takes, he also should give. And in terms of Nunuri, I would say it's a 50-50 part. So one part is like really this glitz and glam world. On the other side, it's the 50% of being an activist. Nunuri is very active in supporting our environmental issues and bringing it to the audience in a more playful, entertaining way, and not in a shocking and eye-closing way. So we want to have the people like really looking at it. As you can see here, we did a campaign with IUCN, which is the red list company who brings us the most endangered species, the red listed species. We did a campaign with them and Lacoste together, which was a huge success. We are supporting them in trying to get the awareness for problems like if the oceans are dying, the oxygen is missing on planet Earth. We have a wonderful project together with the Zeitz Foundation in Kenya on Segera retreat, where we plant 1 million trees with Nunuri supporting this kind of action, and we have already planted like 400,000 trees. So I think here we bring Nunuri and digital and digital technology to a new level. So it's not only just like games, it's not just like freaks, it's not just like playful and funny things. It can be very profound. It can be very very serious. Or what we do here, we create awareness in a beautiful picture, and people see like, oh, beautiful Nunuri with a tiger. And here, when you go to a deeper look here, you see how the extinction of the tigers is taking place, how widespread they were, and how few they are right now at the moment. We are very proud also to have like a very nice collaboration with also Seaspiracy. Here we support them, for example, like in having their idea about protecting 30% of the ocean in a way that people are not fishing there, that people are not overfishing. So we are supporting also these kind of things. We have a lot of amazing followers, high potential followers, as you can see: Naomi Campbell, Karin Reutfeld, Dior, Versace, H&M, Piaget, Bulgari, a lot of high potential influencers and opinion leaders we are reaching with Nunuri. And of course, with Nunuri, we are not just reaching them with the information and the content that we give. We also reach out to them for the awareness of having new technology, like using new technology. When you look at the new Versace campaigns, you see a lot of 3D animating elements, and at Burberry, you have seen digital Kendall Jenner. So there is a lot of movement going on, and what we are able to push, if we work constantly in improving technology driven with design and content, I think we have an absolutely superpower, which does not mean that we substitute humans. This is very important for me, always to say like, no, we are not substituting humans. Giving you an example on Nunuri, we are now 14 people in our team, which are not all constantly working on Nunuri, but I would say like 6 to 8 people are constantly working on Nunuri. So Nunuri, as a digital character, she unifies human resources, she unifies human people to work on her. And if you think in a larger scale, I can even scale that up. I mean, there can be 100 people working on Nunuri, because she can be at the same time in Shanghai for a store opening, and she can be in Detroit for a car presentation at the same time, like she can save the elephants in Africa. So there is a lot of possibility that technology brings us in, and for me, important to always have like the human aspect in all of this as well. So as you can see here, we do also different kind of poses, we do different kind of expressions, and here you really see that all the character-driven style has to be represented. So you would never see something that is not a Nunuri pose, that is not a Nunuri style-driven caption or capture or picture or content or message that we want to spread. There is always a certain kind of style that is very important. And now to give you a very short introduction how we are cooking this kind of personality of Nunuri in a specific way, I want to give you an example how we do. For example, when we create a post, a still post takes us between like 2 and 4 days. It depends on what kind of style, what kind of message we want to spread. And here you see, for example, we look at the recent collections, or we look at recent trends, or we look at upcoming designers, or we see at young designers. So we're trying to unify also like a lot of different kind of people inside of the Nunuri universe. Here we have Versace, because we have a very good relation to Versace. I personally love Gianni Versace since I'm little. So therefore comes also the passion of Nunuri for Versace. So we took here the Versace Resort Collection 2022. then I think about, okay, what kind of background could this be? It could be like a yeah, Western American style, where maybe Nunuri is like waiting for a car to get picked up in a way. And I was looking here for a picture that was taken by a photographer, Jonathan Ducrest. We work a lot with different kind of photographers. Jonathan is one of our favorite ones because I think he has a very good Nunuri matching style. I like his style a lot. So also here you can see we are working together with artists as well. Then we define the idea of hair. How could the hair look like for Nunuri? How could the makeup look like? So I would say like no eyeshadow this time, because we have like a very strong colorful dress, and maybe the hair this time platin blonde. And now the main part comes. How do we get the right Nunuri pose? And as you can see here, I created Nunuri, and I have a lot of DNA of Nunuri in my blood, in my veins, as you can imagine. So I do the poses. I do most of the poses. I do most of the motions as well. I wear this accent suit. I have a face tracking on my face through the iPhone. I usually wear the gloves as well. In this case, not, because it was only just a still, so it was not necessary here. And then we transmit those data to my 3D guys, who are then responsible for the pose of Nunuri. We first, of course, we check if this pose would also like match in a way the background, and then the real work begins with this great technical asset that we have. This unique pose, as you can see, like her shoulder, one shoulder is a little bit up, the other is a little bit down. The whole body is a bit shifted. There is a certain kind of elegance inside of her arms. So it's very important to have and maintain these kind of DNA assets of a character to be like really a strong and powerful character. And how this look like in the end, and as you can see and as you can compare, it's quite identical. If you would match, if you would lay them over each other, we would have a super match in a way. So here you can see how important the technology is for us to really do something out of the box, to create something that is really very specific. And of course, after we have the pose, we have to adjust the outfit, we have to adopt the hair and the makeup, we have to put everything in the light, in the right light and in the right setting, so that the illusion of having Nunuri there in this specific moment is like really perfect. And this is the way then it looks like. So as you can see, for example, like here we did a live video together with our partner as well, Mimic in Berlin, wearing the accent suit and having everything here in a very nice way. And here you can see something where I'm very proud of. This is a live what we did for Siemens, where Nunuri was like the host of the marketing global marketing conference of Siemens. And what you see here now is all done live. I was acting live. I was wearing the accent suit, the gloves, the face tracking, and my voice got transformed into the Nunuri voice. And as you can see, my expression, the way she's looking, is exactly what I was doing at this moment with a 1 or 2 frame shift. So this was really something outstanding, breaking news at Siemens, like they haven't done this before. And it was like a really, really stunning moment. And it's not only like about the face expression we did here. Unfortunately, you cannot hear the sound. It would be nice to hear the sound, but we have some technical issues here. But as you can see, the movement, what I do here, this is also live. This is not pre-rendered. This is a live video that we filmed live, and then it was immediately transmitted to the other participants inside of the meeting. So this is something groundbreaking. This is absolutely new, and for me it was a stunning moment, and to be honest, a very hard moment as well, because I have to think myself in Nunuri. I have to make this kind of expressions of her, but thanks to the technology, I mean, we could really convince the client to do it for another one. So it was a great success, and it was a great performance in this way. So the live thing is very, very cool and very new for us, but also when we pre-produce something, as you can see here, we did a campaign together with the cosmetic line of Kim Kardashian, KKW Beauty, where you can see 3D rendered products and a so-called contouring tutorial on Noonoouri. And this was really interesting because I had to do these things on my skin, and then we transmitted all the information through the Xsense technology to our machines and brought her to life. The hard thing was really the softness of the skin, and as you can see, when she is touching and sculpting her face, which is like the idea of the contouring thing, that you can sculpt your face, like make the nose smaller through different kind of sticks that you bring in. So that's really an amazing way to do this. And another one, which is like one of my favorite spots that we have ever done, this was for Saint Laurent, where you can see the magic and the power of 3D animation and motion capture. Like this way she's walking, and believe it or not, I am an almost 2-meter guy. I had to rehearse myself to walk in heels. And ladies out there, or anyone who's wearing heels, also the men wear heels, it's an amazing experience. And I am not really I'm not really an expert in that, but I have huge respect through everybody of everybody who can do this. So I had to do this in order to make this perfection of Nunuri's walk, of course, and then with the motion capture suit, we got this amazing walk, and this is now kind of a signature walk. And right now we are like really looking for technology that she could really walk live a catwalk, because this would be, of course, stunning, but still the protection technology is not yet at this level, but it will be the next one. So as you can see, Nunuri is digital, but she's also still analog. This is very important for me as well to talk about. As you can see, we have countless cover editorials already with Vogue China, Madame Figaro in Paris, Glamour in Brazil, Cosmopolitan in India, L'Officiel Italy. So we have the digital also brought into the analog world. I think this is kind of a very remarkable step that we did with digital technology. So it's not only like on the game sector; it's really like a whole universe that we can create with something that doesn't exist or didn't exist before. And the variety and the attention, like we worked with Kendall Jenner for Stuart Weitzman for the shoe company. We work with Thierry Mugler. We have lots of reposts from Naomi Campbell, from Donatella Versace. We work with amazing people like Patrick Starr with his amazing cosmetic line. We work with Marc Jacobs. We met Gigi Hadid. We did the campaign with Winnie Harlow and Kim Kardashian, the great Lewis Hamilton campaign, and funny moments with Zendaya and Gigi here at the Tommy Show. So what I want to show you is here now the overview, the essence of what is possible when technology meets content, design, passion, and discipline. I think this can be something very unique and very outstanding in a way, and gives people a creative injection and a really new focus on things that are a bit out of the box. But once things are out of the box, I think they really get the the attention, which is the most important thing at the moment, because the better our messages are and we cannot really get the attention, we are lost in a way. And so this is yeah, kind of a contribution of my work and Nunuri's work to this whole yeah, mocap universe. And I think we only have just begun this kind of journey, and I'm super excited to keep moving on. And I'm very honored and very happy that I got the possibility to show you today a little bit about the cooking in our kitchen that we do. And there's a lot more to come, so watch out for that. And I'm looking forward to any kind of questions that come up at the moment. So thank you very much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you out there.
Hi, Joerg. Thank you so very much for this great presentation. I'm really amazed about the names you have been working with, and funny story as well. You know that you've been working with Hamilton, but we all know that Max will be a world champion this year, of course. Another thing, yeah. I mean, if you do need any poses, I actually did the pose for our Mo statue in the entry of our building. So if you need any help, just let me know, yeah?
Absolutely, that's great. Good to know.
So let me see if we have any questions. I think we have a question. So how did you gain access to these brands with Nunuri, and what do you expect to happen with Nunuri in the future?
It's a good question, because the problem also when I was working only in my studio was always like, how can you access to those people? And I think the secret of the success is really being different from what already existed. From the beginning, it was never that I was reaching out to any kind of company. It was more than that a lot of companies were reaching out to me, and there were high fashion brands and high luxury brands, but also like the boutique from around the corner. And I think it is very important for building a brand to say no. So the first 3 or 4 months, I was saying no to most of the brands, because I wanted to create something where people really see what kind of brands, what kind of brand values we share with other companies. And so I was saying mostly no to other brands, and only to a few I said yes. And then the circle really fulfilled from itself, and other companies, they came and they were super interested in what we do. And I think they see the hard work that we put inside of our creations, and the ongoing creativity that we really try to be always inspiring and never be the same. I think that's kind of the key success what we did with Nunuri. And I think also the fact that she is a not human looking like avatar, that was in the beginning a very high interest and focus on most of the fashion brands. And to the second question, where do we want to go? So I would love to hear Nunuri sing something. So music is a big heart of myself as well, and also games. I would love a Nunuri game. So I would die for a Nunuri game. So if there's anybody out there, I'm here.
Well, I can tell you, I can sing two-voiced, hard and off key. So I will probably not be in help there. But if we do get someone, then we'll point them towards you, cool. For sure. So we have a few other questions. So did you have any previous mocap experience before this?
Yes, in my studio, I did a lot of mocap shootings as well, like in screen with classical mocap stuff. So yes, we did that, and also for the very first beginning of Nunuri, when it was end of 2017, so like 3 months before we brought her out, we started with a huge mocap session where I was doing a lot of poses, so that we have like a pool of different kind of motions that we can say like, okay, this is a Nunuri motion and this is not. Because sometimes it happens that when I put on the suit and I do a movement, I feel like, oh yes, this is an absolutely Nunuri movement. And when I adopt it and transport it to her body, it looks like, no, it doesn't feel right to her. So this happens sometimes, I would say like in 20 or 30% of the movements that we do, but 60 to 70%, they're always like really on spot. But yes, we did a motion capture shooting before we brought her out to feel this kind of technology for her. And right now we are implemented it in our regular workflow. Absolutely.
Cool. So another question that we got is do you expect to add any other characters next to Nunuri in the future?
Yeah, this is always like a question that I got asked, but to be honest, I would say no, because Nunuri takes a lot of time to make her to maintain her character and her personality. So that means like 70 or 80% of my day is dedicated to Nunuri herself. So if I would do another character, that has to be another person in my team to form this character's identity in a way, because it's not like that you say like, okay, we create a beautiful shell, we have a good technology, and then put it out. I mean, you can do that, but I think it will not have this kind of success and will not have this access to people like Naomi Campbell or Carla Bruni, because they directly will say like, okay, this is just like a marketing tool in a way. So if I do something in a specific way, I really want to dedicate all my attention and my power and my passion for this project. And I would rather also here say no and make her like exclusive. No, it's only like one Nunuri, and I put all my love, all my energy inside of her, that the people really can feel that, because I'm also the person who's doing all the interaction on Instagram, who's doing all the answerings and the interviews and all that stuff. So that people can be very sure that the character is always maintained through what I tell the people.
Yeah, no, that sounds very logical. So you emphasized that Nunuri needs to have a soul, life in her eyes, and a character. What is the progression on the way, or at a certain point you have convinced that she's ready for creation?
So for me, it was always like when the moment since I started to think her in my head until the moment I brought her out, which is like years. I mean, like from a 5-year-old boy till when I started my company, and then I brought her out like 3.5 years ago. I was living with her in silence actively, I would say like 7 years. And in those 7 years, I was starting to form her character in a very organic way. That means I was not sitting there with a piece of paper and writing down some kind of attributes. No, I was like thinking about her all the time wherever I went. I went to a cafe in the afternoon, and I would think to myself, okay, where would Nunuri sit? Would she sit in the center of the cafe, or where she can be seen by everybody? Or would she sit in a corner where she can observe all the other people? And so this thing I was replaying all the time. I went to the airplane, and I would say, would she drink rather flat water, or would she drink sparkling water? Would she eat like salty nuts, or would she eat more sweets? So I was thinking all these kind of things, and I was questioning myself, okay, what would she eat in that moment? So this is something where I was like really creating and forming her character in a very organic way. And I believe that's also part of her strength, that is comparable to, let's say, like an apple tree. When you plant an apple tree, the apples will not be there in full blossom after 1 year. It takes time to really harvest the fruits in a way. And I think things need to take time, even if we live in a very fast time at the moment, and everybody wants to have everything on demand. When people see me and they say like, oh, Nunuri, she's here now in a fashion show or in an event, and people always say like, oh, what is she wearing? What is this? What is that? I say, well, you will see tomorrow or maybe the day after, and I will not tell you now. So the expectation is getting higher, and we can really generate this kind of expectation. And I think this is also a very important thing, that we always think like, okay, click now and everything is online. And this is also part of Nunuri. She's creating attention through expectation.
That's really impressive. It really sounds like it's to the minute details where you need to build up a character like Noonoouri. It's really, really good, really good. So I think we have our last question, which I think is a very nice one to end off with. So, do you have any tips for aspiring virtual influencers?
So I think the first of all is to have like with everything, never lose hope. I think that's the most important thing, because I got so many no's, I got so many refuses, and I got so many things when people say like, no, we don't want robots, we don't want that, we don't need that. So I think that's the most important thing, to never lose your kind of dream. I think discipline is very important. Passion, like to everything, whatever you do, you need the passion to have, and you need like to have a clear vision. What is the vision of this? What is the purpose of this character in a way? And then I think it's a lot of love that you have to put inside of this creation to make other people's feel that there is a human soul behind it. And I think this is very important when you create a character. So it's a lot of ingredients that make a character really come true. But like everything, you have to believe in your dreams. And I think Nunuri is a very nice example that you can believe in a childhood dream and make it come true when you're a grown adult without any hair.
Yeah, so it's all about making dreams come true. Really great talk, Joerg. I would again like to thank you very much for your time. I would also like to thank everybody there behind the camera that was joining our talk. I hope to see you all in the next one at 10 o'clock Central European time. So for now, I'd like to thank you all, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.